9/11 has been known to be one of New York City's most tragic events. A lot of people had lost families, co-workers, best friends, loved ones, and the people that they have lost have sacrificed their life into this whole terrorist attack. Um, During the whole situation, people have been crying. We've been watching the news, as me growing up in the third grade out of Staten Island. Um, when it first had happened, um, I seen the towers coming down from my window, from my school window, seeing the smoke and seeing the fire. And I was curious and I was not up to date on what was going on until came a time where a lot of people's parents had came to pick up their children from school. And for me, having perfect attendance, I wasn't one of those kids to be fortunate enough to be picked up from school until that date. And wondering why my mother was crying while she looked out the window, I realized that we was having a terrorist attack. Growing up as a young child, you see yourself as being so protected in this world, in America, and everything is going to be fine. And then you have a whole nother perspective of seeing a whole nother country come into your world, into your comfort zone, and they show that it's possible for it to be destroyed. I knew a lot of people that had died, a lot of firefighters and police. They told their stories to my schools in the past, in school, third and fourth grade, about what was going on and how they seen it for themselves. And during the whole me experiencing that, it was a bad experience, and it shows how much everything is worth, how fortunate am I to have to be in a country like this, to be free and to be grateful. I hope my presentation, for me interviewing these Job Corps students for Brooklyn Job Corps and IT trade, gives you an understanding of what their side of the story is. And not only that we show our condolences, we just show you, part of our experience, what we see as during the whole event happening.
Well, I was probably I think I was in the fourth grade at that point. And I just remember everybody being sad, like teachers and staff. They were saying something happened in Manhattan. I didn't know what was going on. I just remember a lot of my friends leaving school early. I was kind of like, it's funny back then, you didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, I want to leave school early. Like, why can't my parents come to pick me up? Or, why can't this one come to pick me up? But, fortunately, that didn't happen because, a lot of those kids who got picked up early, their parents or loved ones died. So I remember after school going to my cousin's house and asking him what happened, because he was watching the news and he had told me that he said the Twin Towers had blew up. And I was worried because I knew my mom and my dad, my dad at the time, but I was thinking my mom and my dad and my sister had all worked over there, so something might have happened. So I was really worried. Fortunately, I had learned that nothing had happened to them. And by the time I got home, I got filled in on the rest of the story. My dad told me who Osama bin Laden was. And yeah, man, I honestly remember crying that day. Because, just kind of hearing about it. Even around that age, I never really cried too much about anything. But that just hit me because it's like the realization, even at, 8, 9, 10 years old, that wow, just 2,000 people just died instantly, and it's crazy to think that something like that just happened, and not to say that there was no major repercussion behind it, but it just it happened. It happened right here where we're all comfortable at, where all of these people or just walking back and forth. And you know, if you was here on September 11th, you know, a few years ago, it'd probably be nothing but dust and debris and you know, bloody murdered people down there. That's crazy. You know, the thought of it is scary. That, you know, it can happen again at any time. Yeah.
I remember being picked up early from school. Apparently something crazy happened, and my uncle took me home. When I got home, I turned on the news, and on the news, it was like the helicopter view of the tower. So, both towers. So all you saw was just towers and a bunch of black smoke. And I remember it so clearly in my mind. It's like it happened yesterday, that day. It's crazy. When I think about it now, it kind of bugs me out that a week before that, my mom was working there, and they offered her a job like on a higher floor in the same tower, and she turned it down because she thought it was too warm. So if it hadn't been for that, you know, I probably would have lost my mom. But it was a really lot of lives lost, and you know, that day was crazy. Now you look at it again, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories on YouTube and all that. It definitely left a big mark on America as a whole and New York City itself.